From the grounds of Deptford High School in Deptford, New Jersey, Channel 5 Sports presents high school football. This afternoon, the Deptford Spartans host the Gloucester Catholic Rams. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner Tad Kosnewski. A beautiful fall afternoon and a big game for both of these teams in the Tri-County Conference. Gloucester Catholic has had an excellent season, 3-1 at this point, taking on a Deptford team, Tad, that surprisingly has the reciprocal record of 1-3.
Yeah, you're not used to hearing the word Deptford in 1-3, so you know they're going to be ready to play this game. And this is almost a rivalry game between these two teams. I know the Gloucester Catholic kids, this is the one game they want to win every year. A lot of kids from Gloucester Catholic live in the Deptford Sending District, so a big game for both teams today.
That's one good point in that Deptford not necessarily associated with Gloucester Catholic as a rival, but anytime Gloucester Catholic plays someone, there's certain kids just kind of eyeing up that opponent. And there you see the head coach of the Deptford Spartans, Coach Oreo, and Al Oreo again in uncharted territory with a 1-3 mark.
A lot of pride here in this Deptford program, too. A big history, so you know they're going to want to try and get that record back up to 500. Back
to receive Nick Siako and Todd Werbick for the Gloucester Catholic Rams, and Justin DeMuro, your kicker for Deptford. It's a homecoming afternoon, a great crowd on hand, beautiful weather. Happy to carry it here on Channel 5. We're about to get underway.
Let's go, boys! Let's go!
DeMuro just waiting for the word. And I think Deptford really wants to set a positive tone initially on special teams, an imposing defense for the Spartans. DeMuro's kick is away, and it will be taken by Siako. Siako now finds a small seam, and just past the 30-yard line, the Rams will begin an offense that Tad really likes to throw the ball.
Yeah, coming in over the years, they really threw the ball a lot, and they threw to establish the run. The difference you're going to see this year, Rob, is they are going to run to establish the pass. And running-wise this year, Pat Schul is their leading rusher with over 6 yards a carry. He'll be number 33 today. They're going to look to establish him early. Then their quarterback today, who does a great job, Mike Calzanetti, a very strong arm, but he has a tendency to be erratic with his accuracy. He has 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
You saw Steve Lopes, the referee, waving off the flag. Tony Beanice, the umpire. Donna Henley, your linesman. Bill Brewy, your line judge. And Steve Anderson, your back judge this afternoon at Deptford High School. I formation, 2 receivers set to start things for the Rams. And Calzanetti will hand it off right up the gut, and not much room there.
That's a great defensive stop by Deptford, stacking the middle. And again, Deptford has scouted this Rams team, so they know early on they're going to try and establish that run.
There you see the Gloucester County Times Sunbeam area rushing leaders. Pat Schul, as you mentioned, 100 carries even coming into today, 577 yards, an impressive mark. And Hayward, Patterson, Robinson, and Dick, your followers behind Schul, who has a sizable edge in yardage. Another whistle here early, and this may be a procedure call against the Rams.
You would think it'd be against Gloucester Catholic, as you mentioned.
Football foul. Roachman on the defense. 5 yards still. Take it down.
Well, check that. It's against Deptford. Deptford a little too anxious for that as they lined up in the neutral zone.
And those are the type of mistakes that Coach Oreo really disappointed in his Deptford team this year. Go from a long second down to a very makeable 2nd down and 5 for the Spartans. Again, Jacob Yates, Uriah at the bottom of the screen. Calzanetti again will hand it off. And this is an imposing Deptford defense. And Gloucester Catholic having a tough time moving the ball.
Yeah, early on, it looks like they're really stacking the box. Deptford going to eventually make Gloucester Catholic try and beat them to the outside with the throwing game. And Catholic can't do that. But right now, I think Deptford's doing the job on that line of scrimmage.
So 2 carries and really nothing gained. Third down, again about 5 yards for Calzanetti and the Ram offense. High formation again for Calzanetti. Quick drop and throws outside for the first down as Calzanetti quickly hooks up with the Yates.
It's going to be a matter of where they spotted here. Had pretty good coverage there on the play as well to come in there and make the tackle by Butler. You see a pretty good arm. Calzanetti can really air out the ball, and he's really good with these patterns out in the flat. Yates makes a good catch, and that's a good job defensively right on there, and this is going to be very close.
They did not give Yates a very good spot, and as you mentioned, Tad, it looks like it's going to be shy of the first down. So 4th down and inches, decision time here early for Gloucester Catholic.
Coach Garzinski is a riverboat gambler. I've seen him go in past years inside his own 20 on 4th and short, so it wouldn't shock me, even though they're about a length of the ball short, that he goes for it here. Well, they won't have to. How about that?
Well, I was wrong already.
That's
By
2
the
of us.
stripe of the football, the Rams will continue to move it. First down for Gloucester Catholic. Tony Garzinski, you mentioned the head coach here at Gloucester Catholic in his 7th season, 33-32 mark. His lone blemish this year coming against a very good and a very surprising Cumberland team. Cumberland defeating Kingsway last evening.
First time Cumberland ever defeated Gloucester Catholic as well.
Calzanetti rolls, has a man underneath, and quickly slowing down on the play is Ryan Alcott.
Again, though, defensively, J.C. Clement in there read that very well for not a big gain. There was very good coverage down the field in that, Rob. Not many options for Calzanetti to throw.
Pickup of about 2, 2nd down and 8 for the Rams. Rams coming off a victory last week against Williamstown, and Williamstown has had themselves a pretty impressive season thus far. High formation for Gloucester Catholic once again. Calzanetti into a 5-step drop, throws across the middle, and just a little bit too much as he tries to find Stephen Rotella.
I think the defensive backs got themselves psyched up for this game because they know they're probably going to be the difference in this game, because so far it looks like they can stop the run. So it looks like Catholic, who likes throwing the ball anyway, is really going to go after these defensive backs.
Calzanetti, we mentioned the quarterback, great size, 6'4", 205 pounds, a strong arm, a great lineage. His father, of course, a Gloucester Catholic product, and we saw him during the basketball season, quite the athlete. Third down again and 8 for Calzanetti. A 5-step drop, getting a little bit of pressure, throws across the middle, tipped up, but unable to hold on to it is George Spingler.
Well, Deptford came with the blitz right there. Catholic did a good job of picking it up. Pretty good throw by Calzanetti here, but he just threw it behind the receiver. Now they're coming with the blitz off the left side of your screen. He gets the time that he needs. Good velocity on it, but just behind the wide receiver. If he leads the wide receiver, they would have had a first down.
So Gloucester Catholic forced to punt it away. We saw earlier that this special teams unit of Deptford, very special. Donald Williams back to receive along with John Pila.
Number 22.
And this will be a very short punt down at the 37-yard line. Deptford will start with very good field position.
Something to watch as this game goes on. When Siaka goes to punt again, he took a lot of time to punt that ball. And Deptford really did not have the block on, and they came close to blocking it.
Well, this is a Deptford team who has struggled at times offensively. And I think for the Deptford Spartans, they'd like nothing better than to have a drive initially that will move the football. And first play, absolutely nothing there as the quarterback, Lou Gelsomini, hands it off to Robert Rothmuller, and not a whole lot there.
Well, Gloucester Catholic's defense very big up the middle there. You see Harry Amwake is the one that made the tackle on that last play. As we see it again, it's going to be very hard for Deptford to run up the middle with Gloucester Catholic. When Gloucester Catholic has had trouble this year, it's been on the corners.
Second down for the Spartans. Out of the eye, Gelsomini. Quick out, has his receiver. And this will pick up about 4 or 5 for John Lewis.
And I think that's a good game plan for Deptford. Get the ball to the outside, get in the corners, because Catholic does not quite have the speed that Deptford has here. So good job to get that out to Lewis. Now you just let Lewis use his athletic ability. He does a good job of picking up some good yards.
And if you recall, earlier in the year when we had Deptford in Clearview, that was that very pass that was picked off by Clearview and turned around for a touchdown. Really a game breaker. Gelsomini was not the quarterback in that game. Third down, I formation, and the handoff, and just absolutely nothing there for Corey Pearson.
Again, there's that defensive line for Gloucester Catholic. They have been solid all year, and I think you're going to see as this game develops more from the outside, pitch-wise, or things to the corner for Deptford.
Back at one formation for Deptford is number 30, Justin DeMuro. Back to receive the punt.
DeMuro, the punter, and back to receive Warbick for Gloucester Catholic. And Warbick will have it bounce, and he'll watch it go out at about the 27-yard line. So a bit of a punt battle here between the two Gloucester Catholic and Deptford Spartan punters.
That was dangerous for the punter on Deptford as well. Mike Garland came in unblocked on that play. Nobody picked him up, and he almost came in for a near attempt at that.
7:26 remaining in this first quarter. Scoreless affair. Again, it's homecoming at Deptford. You know, typically, Tad, you schedule your pansy for homecoming. Certainly not the case this year.
Not today. No way.
Again, Calzanetti will work out of the eye. And the handoff, really trying to pound it up the middle, but they have yet to find a soft spot.
Again, Deptford's defense, that front line defense, doing a nice job here. You're almost going to say this game's going to be won and lost today in the line of scrimmage. Both teams looking very tough on that line.
That was Pat Schul, the 6'1 junior that we spoke about. He's had himself quite a season for these Rams. Three receivers set for the first time this afternoon. Calzanetti will roll and getting some pressure. Calzanetti looking to throw it and dish, but instead wisely throws it out of bounds. Looked like he had ideas of a shovel pass.
He thought about it twice, shoveling it out there, and you got to be very careful with that. He's always trying to make something happen, Calzanetti. This is a great play here as we look at it down from field level. Great defensive back coverage here. This was just trouble all the way for Calzanetti. It's a good thing he was able just to throw it away. There you see the fake. He did it twice, then finally threw it away.
Calzanetti's a big kid, but Tad, I'm not a big proponent of having quarterbacks roll against their throwing arm.
Hard to do. It's very hard to make any kind of throw, let alone an accurate throw that way. And I believe we have a penalty on the play as well there against Gloucester Catholic. Receiver downfield, we hear is the call. And that'll happen sometimes when you have that quarterback scrambling around. The linemen think the pass is off and start moving down.
Exactly. So somebody released early. Second down. 13 or 14 to go here for Gloucester Catholic. Again, a few flags here early. Two receivers split right. And the pitch. They'll work the ball outside. Not much running room as they go to the short side, but Schul picks up a few.
Just a case trying to get something quick, a quick block, and get some movement down the outside. Schul uses speed there. He's very good at reading and reacting, and Schul got it around the corner, but they're still fairly far away from the first down.
Schul with 4 touchdowns on the year. It's a team that's averaging 173 yards per game via the ground and really having a tough time moving it thus far.
That's a credit to this Deptford defense there. They're playing very well.
Again, Calzanetti out of the eye. Quick drop, finds a man, and should be enough for the first down as he hooks up with his big target, Steve Rotella.
As Steve Rotella lines up at his tight end position, he just lines up the block, comes across the middle of the defensive backfield, and he's wide open here. And Rotella's had a good year as well. He's caught a lot of balls, and you can see he's a big young man as well. And that's just a linebacker missed the coverage there, and a good throw by Calzanetti.
First and 10, Catholic. Calzanetti again to the air. He'll throw, has a man, it's tipped up and caught. And once again, finding Rotella.
And the defensive back was there. It just went through the defensive back's hands. And again, that goes back where we talked about how Calzanetti will throw any ball, anytime, in any situation. As we'll see it here again, he zips this out there, and it could have been intercepted, but he had enough on it to get it over the defender's hands. And just into Rotella's hands. Rotella, a very good receiver, as are all the receivers for Gloucester Catholic.
Well, I tell you, Rotella listed at 6'4", 235, and he is all of that. The handoff inside, and again, Deptford doing a nice job with the run game as Schul is stopped.
That was a very good play call for Gloucester Catholic. They've done a couple passes in a row. They come in with the draw there, but a good job. One of the tackles got in there and was able to make the shoestring tackle. This is where we're seeing the advantage of Catholic having this passing game and being able to open it up.
Still over 5.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Scoreless, Gloucester Catholic with their second possession of the day. This time Schul finds a seam, he drops the football. And it looks like it may be Deptford who has it. That's the early indication it is.
And that's the kind of thing that Deptford has to do to keep themselves in the game. He had a pretty good hole here. Someone reaches him, he ran in right in there, one of his own blockers and a defensive lineman. That's just a mad scramble for it. A big break here for Deptford.
It looked like it was J.C. Clement on the recovery. Big turnover, and we'll see if Deptford can take advantage. Gelsomini, your quarterback, has Pila split right. And a nice chunk there for the Spartans.
Good job of the misdirection play to just take it up the middle. The defense was heading out towards the quarterback, out to the left-hand side. The ball went right up the middle. A good job there, but for Deptford, a little bit of momentum shift here now.
See Coach Oreo, mathematically, probably still in the race for the Group 2 playoffs, but they would have to have a lot of things go right for them. Obviously, one of which would be a victory here during homecoming. Second down. And this time, Pearson, your ball carrier, with maybe a yard.
Just trying to power run up the middle. Set something up for a third and short. Again, if you're Deptford here, you want to try and keep the ball out of Gloucester Catholic's hands with their fairly strong offensive game. So you're just trying to move the chains and take it down by down.
And more than enough here for the first down. It looked like it was Whitley. This is a Deptford team that is not afraid to substitute freely.
And that's going to help you, especially as you get in the third and fourth quarter as this game goes on. With these lot of smaller schools that we're dealing with, a lot of players have to play both ways. So it's your advantage if you get really mixed players in.
That actually was Rothmüller, 31, not 21.
Also at Harvard Stadium in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Lafayette 17.
First and 10, Deptford getting their first down of the afternoon. And now some room for Rothmüller, and he slips on the side, fumbles the ball, but he is ruled down. We had a good look at that. That's a good call by the official.
We'll see here again coming into your living room. Nick Siako comes in. Otherwise, this could have been a big run. Once you get around the corner, that's when you can really do some damage against this Gloucester Catholic defense. But Siako came in, and you can see there he was clearly down before the ball came out.
Gain of 2 for Rothmüller. And off inside, and the pile moving Gloucester Catholic a shade, not a whole lot there, and that'll bring up a long third down for the Spartans.
That's the play that's worked from the best. The quarterback hasn't really kept it a whole lot himself, just going right up the middle with it. Again, I think that's going to be their toughest yards to get, the ones out the middle. You can see whenever they've made a big play, it's going to come around the outside.
The only time Gelsomini went to the air was that quick hitter to the wideout. quick screen, rocket screen, I guess they like to refer to it as. And Gelsomini likely to go to the air here, again working out of the I formation. Getting pressure, and he's hit and sacked. Big sack by Gloucester Catholic's Ed Kispert, the 6'4" senior, and you can see just by the size of Gloucester Catholic.
What they did is they bunched the defensive line of scrimmage. They had more people to block than that were there for Deptford, and Kispert came in unblocked, and that's an easy sack and a well-designed play defensively for Catholic.
So Deptford forced to punt it away once again, and it'll be DeMuro getting some pressure, but gets away. A nice kick that will bounce and go out of bounds just inside the pylon. This will be down at the 1-yard line. You can't ask for much better than that. A 54-yard punt from Justin DeMuro.
And that's just what Deptford needed here. They hold the field position advantage in this game with 1:32 to go in the first quarter. I mean, there's pros that can't kick that ball as nice as that, right inside the pylon.
And there's a push in the back against Gloucester Catholic. Obviously, that would be halfway to the goal line, so they'd be at the half-yard line, essentially. This will be one of the shortest penalties of all time, Ted.
Yes. The length of the football. I'm impressed here thus far with the special teams game of Deptford. They've been really able to pin back, especially now, Gloucester Catholic deep in their own zone. And your offense changes. When you've got your back in the end zone, you may not open it up as much. You notice as Gloucester Catholic got up the midfield that last series they had the ball, they're more willing to open things up. And that changes the whole outlook of the game.
Well, this will be interesting. First of all, they're discussing where exactly to mark the foul, and in fact, whether or not it should be marked, because typically it's a spot foul. But additionally, being this far in their own end, Tad, they've not had much success pounding it up the middle. But as a coach, you're a little leery of dropping back to throw the ball or going outside the tackles.
And as we mentioned, Calzanetti is interception thrown. I mean, he has thrown 6 touchdowns this year, but he's also thrown 6 interceptions. And if you do one of those quick hitters on the outside, now this is against Deptford, we're told here now. If you throw it to the outside, yeah, that could be an easy 6 going the other way.
And Oreo is beside himself. So initially, in speaking with the referee, we did see the hand go as if it were against Gloucester Catholic.
Yes, it did.
And he's asking, how can I have a push in the back when I'm punting the football?
Well, Catholic is, are we going to re-kick this now?
That is a huge break for Gloucester Catholic.
That is odd. How can you have pushing in the... Obviously, coach not very happy with what's going on, but it looks like you're going to have to kick it off once again to Catholic, and Catholic very good on their return game. So far, Deptford's done a good job of keeping that in check.
Well, I mentioned before that Coach Oreo not pleased with some of the mistakes that his team has made this year. We mentioned earlier the offsides that set up a 2nd and 5. I can't think of a bigger penalty other than a return for a touchdown against the team. And again, when you are punting the ball to have a block in the back, you just have to shake your head.
You can understand where he'd be upset because the ball was inside the 1. Now your punter's going to have to kick the ball about his own 22 or 23-yard line against a team with a pretty good return game. So this is going to be now they're moving it back. Well, they're going to move to the near hash line. This is a big, big break for Gloucester Catholic.
Well, the ball was initially, this is a 15-yard penalty.
Wow.
The ball had been spotted at the 45. Now it's at the 30.
Coach is still upset on the sideline, obviously.
And he's asking, how is the ball spotted at the 30-yard line? We have mass confusion. And Steve Lopes, the referee, he's still trying to figure it out.
The linesman came in just to try and get the last spot of this ball down. You're right, it is 15 yards back than where it was before. And this just disrupted the entire flow of this game.
Now they're moving it 2 yards forward.
They'll meet you halfway.
Coach Oreo still does not understand what is transpiring here.
I'll be honest with you, I've never seen block in the back by a kicking team.
No, well, I'll also be honest with you, I'm not sure what's transpiring here. Justin DeMuro again will punt it away. Again a spiral and another good kick, and this bounces inside the 20. It is picked up this time by Wibrick, and he will return it inside the 30-yard line. But I tell you what, you have to be impressed with what Justin DeMuro has done.
He has kicked the ball extremely well this afternoon, and now you can really see why Coach is upset, because there's a difference in almost 30 yards of field position after that penalty.
And it's not just 30 yards, which is obviously quite a bit, but also the spot being inside the 1. There you see the Tri-County Royal Division, and these records include last night's game. We've had Clearview on here before. Cumberland barely lost to Clearview, and Gloucester Catholic, of course, in the hunt at 3-1. Delsey, Williamstown, and then everyone else. But certainly, Tad, no one expected Cumberland to be a part of that.
Yeah, usually when you show standings like that, Cumberland's the last team you see in there, and they have just developed a really nice midget program they've developed the last couple years, and they have some size and they have some speed. They're going to surprise some people this year, as they're doing to a lot of people right now.
I'm going to probably shock you, Tad, but there are some players that leave their own district to go to another school, and that was the case with Cumberland for years.
Okay.
Calzanetti throwing it outside and falls incomplete. Cumberland, I won't mention the teams that Cumberland was losing players to, but obviously now they're staying home, and that team has turned it around.
Yeah, they're a very solid team, very, very big. I was very impressed when I saw them play with their size and their speed. I mean, they've got it all. And they're definitely going to be a force. And you have this Gloucester Catholic team, if they can get by today, they still have to play Clearview.
That will be an excellent game. I formation again for the Rams on 3rd down. Calzanetti pump fakes, has a man wide open, and Calzanetti overthrows his man, looking for Jacob Yates. The defensive back bit on the fake, and Yates would have gone all the way to the house had Calzanetti hit him in stride.
Yeah, Dustin Fowler, as they say, was caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He bought the fake, he came storming in, and Yates would have been untouched down the sidelines. And as you saw, you see Calzanetti there, he had the touchdown and just overthrew it.
Well, a big sigh of relief from Coach Oreo and the Deptford Spartans. The special teams mistake will not cost them. And not only the yardage, Tad, and the spot, but also the momentum swing was critical. And a good opportunity there, I think, had Blazik laid out, he may have had a block. Blazik went up instead of out.
We called that in that first punt. Siako is taking a lot of time to get this one out, and unfortunately Deptford was a little bit afraid of roughing the kicker, but if you jump in front, he had a great chance to block that one as the cheerleaders on homecoming. And a beautiful day for football here from Deptford. You couldn't ask for a nicer day for football.
No, this is truly football weather, probably about 60 degrees outside, a soft breeze with nice beaming sun to kind of warm things up. This is where the players really perform at their optimal. I formation once again for the Spartans, and they'll continue to push it right up the middle, picking up about 3 yards, and that should be the last play of this first quarter. It's been a bit of a punt fest here, and Justin DeMuro of Deptford has really showcased his skills, punting twice on that last series and really backing up the Gloucester Catholic Rams. That'll do it for the first quarter. We'll step away from Spartan Stadium, where we are scoreless. A lot of this stuff.
Well, because I do their game, they just